Hello, everyone. I'm Plasma Warriors, and we like to call me that guy with the afro. With a new headset, too. Nice, isn't it? So, well, as I keep telling people in this universe, apparently some people don't get the gist of just because somebody doesn't do a certain thing doesn't mean they can't. And allow me to make it clear. I know how difficult conventions are. In fact, dare I say it, could be the most difficult position in your whole life. You think I don't know this? I have actually had some events that I've kind of either ran or assisted running, and those are difficult to get people to do anything. Believe me, I do a lot of things when I actually have these things that I do, and they're very small, very rare, but I actually do a lot of the work on my own because, well, that's who I am. Somebody has to be as stupid as fucking possible to make this. I'm sorry, this is going to be one of those videos. No rant, not a stupid reminder of how it happened 2.5 years ago, because if they would have shut up about it, then I might have actually thought, a lot of the things he said in this video or in this reply are correct, but then there are a lot of things that are wrong. And allow me to explain. I have a very long list of things I can go to. Oh, but I'll get down to the main point. Apparently, there's this guy named Bazitum, I don't know, Byzantium, who made a comment on one of my videos saying how ranting about this doesn't really help anything. Yeah, I know it doesn't help anything because people don't like to listen sometimes. But even then, I will still say it because if I don't, who will? And yes, I call out all kinds of conventions. You want to hear me talk about some other cons? I mean, I can talk about conventions in Austin. I can talk about conventions in Seattle. No con is perfect. I want to get that out of the way. But this is the epitome of what I was talking about beforehand. Somebody who has all the answers and doesn't really think, wait a second, maybe there's some truth to what he just said. This guy thought it would be cute for some reason, I don't know why, to not only make a comment on the video 2.5 years old, thank you for commenting, by the way, this is exactly what I mean, but delete said comment later. Well, you might have to remember that on YouTube, your comments get sent to my email. I actually do read every comment, believe it or not. That's we won't go back to the whole, particularly about Momo-kun. Oh God, I can't believe I made that video. I said very much that I didn't like the fact that she was cosplaying, but she still had the right to do so, sickening as it was. But you have to understand, I read these comments, and everyone goes to my email address. So just deleting a comment will not get you out of this. So let me go ahead and make it very clear. One, I said it before and I'll say it again. I am not a fake person. I am very much an open person, and that plays to my advantage. I actually make these statements because I have references, statements, points to make. I'm not going to give them all away because some of them actually do want to remain anonymous. But this guy goes on to say stuff that I will be very blunt when I say this. Has pretty much made the point for me. And I'm going to try as best as I can give you this video from my webcam. Like I said, one guy in my bedroom with a webcam. That's how I am. And this is going to be a while. Sit back, grab some popcorn, and be happy that I'm not psychotic. On. Just to be very blunt, 3:16 p.m. Friday, March 29th, 2009. Low budget YouTubing. Isn't it fun, ladies and gentlemen? That is me. That is my computer screen. This is me trying to hold it up with one shaky cam video. And that's a big mess of a desk, right? Right. So let me back up a bit so we can get a bit of better view. Again, I am no one guy in this bedroom with a webcam. That look good? That looks good. Okay, here we go. This is how I know this could be a very bad decision. Plasma, I'm good friends with with and heavily involved the people who orchestrate San Japan. Remind me, there's actually a point to be had here. You're not supposed to talk about the convention per se, as per their terms. And that's why I didn't say anything about San Japan until after I found this stuff out. When they started being jerk offish. That's what you're not supposed to do, actually. That's in the actual volunteer coordination point. So I'm guessing this person's at least backer, maybe a staff member. I'm not 100% certain, but I'm pretty sure this guy has some pretty high level clearance to be saying what he's saying. Continuing, again, making sure I get this on there. Yeah, I know. Ooh, shaky cam. Which I know Justin Service doesn't have anything to do with. He doesn't have any say over artists, vendors, or events. He doesn't have any control influence. He's literally just a guy cooperating with Mini Minicon, which, again, that actually tells me you're lying to begin with, because Mini Minicon is literally San Japan's one-day event. So yes, he has some value into this. That's just, how do you get that wrong? How can you make that mistake? I don't know. Anyway, continuing, again, if you want to see the email, when I can, I will definitely diverge this email. Ooh, shaky cam. Continuing. Oh, as we're going to bookmark this when I do. Mini Minicon is a different con entirely from San Japan, which I already know is wrong, and a different crew from people entirely from San Japan that sets it up, aside from one guy who basically governs between San Japan crew and the Mini Minicon crew. Again, I know better than that. I've been through this like 5 times. No, that's actually quite the opposite. Dave Henneke has his hands in pretty much the whole deal, so yes, they have cooperation between it. That's not a separate event. Dave Henneke is the person running Mini Minicon, whether you believe it or not. I do know that for a fact, because without him, Mini Minicon would not happen. Sheesh, people think I'm stupid or something. Anyway, shaky cam. Continuing. Justin has a small vendor booth in San Japan, like Google's another anime store used to do, and that's it. I don't want to get to much off track because, again, I know there are people who talk bad about Ooples, and some of it is true, some of it is not. But I'm not going to get into that because, again, Ooples it's closed down, it's gone. So what? I'm moving on. Again, some of it true, some of it not. I will, again, give you this email if you want. Ooh, shaky cam. Continuing. There's no conspiracy against you. You're just a rude jerk that didn't want to work precisely. Didn't want to work with precisely because you're a rude jerk. And what else is new? I mean, let's get disappointed. Yes, I am a tough person to deal with. I've said this before. How many times have I said I'm a tough person to deal with people? Give you a little bit of a point. There's a game store in San Antonio, a lot of them, that actually do understand that I'm a tough person to deal with. Heck, even one of their owners say, a lot of people hate you. Yeah, I know people hate me. Big fucking whoop. Heck, I'll go even further. I don't like a certain group of people who run conventions in Houston. I still get volunteering jobs for them because they're not fully, oh, fuck you, because you said something about this person, you dumbass. No, no, no. They can swallow their pride, and this is where I'm getting to. At least they're willing to say, you know what, scrap it. Getting to the point. I know I'm a hated person. Big floopin' whoop. What else is new? Just because you hate me doesn't mean I don't have more details into this. Continuing again. Ooh, shaky cam. I know it's hard to deal with. The fact that you are barred with them has much, much more to do with the fact that you're a rude and obnoxious person than it does to the Justin Service. A guy, once again, has no influence with San Japan, only Mini Minicon. And again, I know that San Japan and Mini Minicon are pretty much run from the same group. So we're going to cut that out. And let me explain something. What you're about to hear me say about certain things in this video, I'm not going to want to elaborate too much on because there are names that somebody tries to drop, which I'm not going to give out that much detail. All I can tell you is I'm going to skip ahead a few of these and tell you they're not the only people who talk to me. The people who you think I get information from aren't the only ones that I get information from. They're not just staff members at a convention. Hint, hint. It doesn't matter what qualifications you think you have. You don't, by the way. I'll get to that to the end because my qualifications are actually quite high. And believe me, I'm not saying that just to toot my own horn like, ooh, he's got a big ego. I know I have a pretty good list of qualifications about which conventions to go to and how to run them and how they handle them. Actually, the only reason why I haven't run them is not just because I don't have time. I'll explain that in a moment. And again, I want to make a statement, but I can't. I've been told not to. Ooh, shaky cam. One guy in his bedroom with a webcam. Listing of con has nothing to do with smaller than Japan, is smaller than Japan, and ultimately doesn't participate with, really doesn't help you. They don't know all that who you are, and you approach make you seem like a lunatic, which from your reply to me didn't make you seem any less so. So let me make sure I understand something. I'm autistic. I'm not normal, okay? That's a fact. But it doesn't mean I'm a lunatic. Doesn't mean I'm stock rating mad and crazy at everything. Yeah, I don't give a damn about a lot of stuff. I am a jerk. But again, I'm not going to be the meanie just for the sake of being mean. I'm going to give you points. I'm going to give you the idea. And if you don't like it, I'm sorry. That's not being a lunatic. Continuing with the shaky cam. Ooh. It doesn't help you have 20 minutes of videos ranting about them. Really professional, dude. So commenting on somebody's YouTube video and deleting that said comment, thinking that they weren't going to read that is any better? Hey, look, at least I'm being straight up in the open, people. I understand you don't like it, but at least I'm not giving you anything. I said it before. Because I'm a public person, that plays to my advantage because I'm not going to fake you out. More shaky cam. Sailor Moon Day also isn't about who does it better, which is exactly why you shouldn't. Someone like you shouldn't be in charge, dude. This whole comment you've made is about being better than me. Trust me, you don't know half of what I'm doing. I can easily say a lot more than I am going to say. I'm not going to say it this time. More shaky cam. It's just supposed to be a fun celebration that public can get involved with, not a contest because the New York one would blow everyone out. Actually, to be honest, there was some points to be made about this, how the person who ran the original group is in New York, some comment about legal issues. I can't get into that too much, but yeah, there's that, and people just decide we don't want to deal with this particular moment anymore. That's probably the reason why a certain other group of people, again, who pretty much beat the living crap out of San Antonio's, is a good group. I mean, they wanted to separate themselves from all this oppressive nature that was coming from International Sailor Moon Day. I'm not going to name names, but there were certain things that had to be adjusted on the fly, certain things that they wanted you to do that you couldn't financially back, blah, 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 blah. It just takes so much work. So, sorry San Antonio didn't meet your demanding expectations, but apparently Houston's did. So maybe go hit them up. See if they need your incredible talents for future conventions they'll have. I'm sorry. It's too rich. I want to roll over on my bed laughing, but you won't get to the point. Okay, since I started volunteering since 2015, I've been volunteering ever since that time. I've gone to about at least 17 different events within the state of Texas alone, not even counting the ones that I have to travel to other states to go to, not even counting the fact that I did 6 in 1 year, knowing in different positions such as security, line control, gaming. I even do a lot of GM work at conventions. You think I don't have any qualifications? I have more qualifications than I can count right now. And if you want a full list of them, let's just put it to you this way. I quit counting after San Japan Mach 5. I really did because that was so many times I've been to conventions and volunteered and know about the inner workings of them. Not just saying that, that I have more than enough qualifications to meet that point. I'm just not going to name them all off because if I did, I'd put other conventions involved with this. I just don't feel like that's important. You can easily tell how many times I've talked about being at Dragon Con. Heck, I even have a Dragon Con live video from last year. I have way more qualifications than you might think. In fact, that's actually been a job reference of one of these conventions is actually potentially helping me get a job. So if you'll excuse me. All right. So going on. Where was I? It's also much easier to get the destination to that vague destination to get that than Vegas. So distance really isn't an excuse for that one. No, distance isn't really an excuse. The fact that I was offered a staffing position at that Vegas convention was. No, I've been offered staff positions before. I've turned down one. I don't know if I'm going to have another turn down. In fact, I'm probably sure I'm not going to turn the other one down. I can't say any more than that. I've been offered staff positions multiple times. Also, what world are you from where you're an abusive pedophile who is also a scummy businessman that took advantage of his position of power better than a guy who you think is a scummy businessman? Uh, First off, yes, Justin Surface is a scummy businessman. I already told you that. I can go through with people. I'm not going to name names because they won't want me to. They actually told me not to say their names out loud, so I won't. That's why I've got to redact a lot of what I'm about to say here because I know certain things that are said in this email that I should not mention out loud. Also, importantly, I don't like certain things that this is. I mean, maybe I was an Ooples fan, Buddies with Franklin or something, but Jesus, dude, it's not to drag someone's name through the mud with a pedophile rapist. That's evil. No, 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 no. What's evil is also lying about me directly, lying to me about with other people, in particular, other. I'll go ahead and say it. There was one game store that even told me people are talking about you and they don't like you. They lie about that. They say this, this, that. I told him, hey, yeah, I know. But he actually knows what I'm talking about. The owner of that game store knows that I'm more of a direct person, that I'm not doing this out of spite entirely. I mean, San Japan just screws up a lot with this one person here rating this message, but that's not the point. I mean, take me away for a minute when we get down further, and this is why I got to start reading some stuff. I'll be very blunt. No, no. I'm not interested in what Ooples did. I don't even. I know what Ooples did. I know exactly what was said, what was done, what was made a statement of. I don't want to bring in Ooples because they've closed down. And I'm not going to come out here and state anything more than the guy was the guy who was owner. He was a good guy. Okay, I admit he was a good guy. I understand that. But you can't take away from what happened. Now, a lot of this actually does go into people and names and businesses, and I don't want to point them out. Again, this guy Franklin, I'm not going to point him out. His business is closed. He's already got to deal with enough. I'm leaving all that out of here. The fact that you're going to go ahead and look at this, if you want to, I'm going to redact the middle part because let me be honest. It also goes into company that Justin could basically compete with other stores. Let me be very blunt. No, he cannot. He better stick to the kawaii super pop cuteness point. and not try to compete with other places because he has no idea how these other places run. You think he's going to be able to compete with Dragon's Lair? No. Let me make it very clear. There's no way in God's given earth you're going to compete with Dragon's Lair. And also, he has no gaming background at all. Well, yeah, you sell video games, but he has no gaming background, as far as I can tell. That's also the point I want to make. I'm not going to name names because I've been told several times directly from people of how Justin Surface decided to strong arm 3 or 4 businesses out of it. He strong armed me personally. So don't say I don't have any idea how that works. And that's the point I want to make of what I'm about to say here. Because this bottom line here actually shows how little San Japan gives a damn. And I'm not kidding. I'm sorry if you're going to hear this and think I'm being this jerk just for the sake of being a jerk. Yeah, I know I'm a tough person, but here's where we start looking, generally speaking, at why San Japan doesn't care. Ooh, shaky cam. Again, I'm sorry, one guy in his bedroom with a webcam. And I will show you this whole email if you want to see. You want to see the email? I will gladly show it to you. You will gladly be able to read it. Trust me. Here's where I get to the point. Again, San Japan guys deal with crazies like you all the time. People who volunteer to help with a single aspect of one, maybe 2 events, and they're suddenly experts of organizing style conventions, and not only should be deserving to be put in position of power over the event when they've done nothing to merit it. I'm going to stop right there before I get into the whole point. No, just because one event happens means I shouldn't deserve to merit it. The fact that I've done multiple events, I've organized a few events myself. You know how difficult this is? He's gone on to say how tough it is. Yeah, I know. My first lesson about anime conventions, again, a Suricon, was pretty simple. Cons don't pay for themselves. I've said that multiple times. I'll say it again. There are many reasons why I have not organized the convention fully, and one of them is capital. And before you begin with that, oh, you put $20,000 in the Henry B. Gonzalez Convention Center. Do you realize I actually know what the biggest problem with San Japan's cosplay rules are? I actually had to enforce this. And let me explain. This is why Old Spice Guy was removed from the convention, even though I never had a problem with him. He took care of his own business. He actually did things smartly. So where I'm like, okay, no big deal. I hate how oppressive the cosplay rules are. You can't have any shirtless cosplay of any kind, even guys. You always have to wear shoes. You have to have 60% of areas covered no matter what. Yeah, it's an actual number. I know this because I've had to deal with it. And you can't have any signs of any kind. You can't even have free hug signs. Yes, I know how oppressive that is. I actually understand that because I've had to enforce it. I know it sucks. It's stupid, but that's what the rules are. And that's why I would not go to the Henry B. Gonzalez Convention Center, because I would eliminate a lot of freedom that people have for their cosplay. I wouldn't actually take a part of it. And I'll actually address some of this in my how to fix the San Antonio conventions point. I've already addressed how to fix the Houston ones. Houston's convention owners, say for Delta HCon, always seem to have a bit of an issue. I mean, don't get me wrong. Delta HCon has issues, but it's not the staff. So I want to get out of that way. Again, I'm going to redact a lot of this because I'm going to get down to the point. Again, but apparently, your only reason for not blowing up the scene with your own credit conversion that you don't have the time. Yeah, I bet that's it, and you're not that you wouldn't know the first step in doing it. Good luck to you, dude, and all your future investors. I hope that you're going to think it will be. No, running a convention is very freaking difficult. I know that. I have a hard time trying to get a minor event going sometimes. That's not the point. The point is, I've seen firsthand how people treat me and other people at this convention. I'm being honest. I'm not here to tell you don't go to a convention because I think that person in power, and particularly Dave Henneke, is a jerk. I think your convention just outright is being stupid. There, I said it. This is the epitome of what I'm talking about, how they don't care. If it's just also, just because I haven't done a big convention doesn't mean I couldn't one day. Who knows? I'm not saying that I'll run a convention anytime soon. Again, I have a statement I could make about it, but I can't say it out loud because I've been told not to. But again, I've told you I've been offered positions of like this kind before. The point is, it's difficult. It's very hard to near impossible to get it right. And a lot of conventions do fail because a lot of things have to happen. You've got logistics, you've got guests, you've got vendors, you've got artists, you've got a lot of things you have to take in consideration. And it's very hard to do. And I understand that. And that's not the point. Yes, I could possibly help run a convention, but I'm not the only one who wants to do it. There are thousands of other people who can do it. And I'm not saying that I'm better than them or worse, but apparently this is why we have to have this second video. Again, you want the full email, I will gladly give it to you all. You want me to find a place to host it on a website? You actually have a suggestion for a website I can host it on? I'll post it up tomorrow morning on San Japan's Facebook page if you want me to. Here's the point. The point is, this is what they think of people. They think that you're not important. You don't matter in the grand scheme of things. Just because you don't like me doesn't mean you can't work with me. Heck, I work with people I don't like all the time. It's called job. Okay, I still work with them. We can get along. There's always going to be that one or two people at work you absolutely hate, but you're just going to have to deal with them. It's not that I absolutely hate everybody. It's just that this is how life works. So, I don't know who this person is directly, but there's apparently speaking for San Japan itself, which is a problem also. Now, again, here's what I said about it. Then I'll say it again. Just because Justin Surface runs part of the show, if not runs a whole lot of it, doesn't mean that San Japan is a bad con. The way they treat their people seems to be getting worse and worse. And again, there are names I can drop, but they told me not to. So I'm not going to give you the whole detail of what this person said because there were some names in there that actually don't say anything. Okay. As for Ooples, it's closed. I'm not going into that any further. That chapter is gone. I'm willing to move on from that. And let me make it very clear, I have never worked with Ooples except for one event. I have never actually done any other like employment or sponsorships or anything like that. I've went to their convention and I thought it was okay. They had a convention once and was actually okay. I mean, they tried, and I'd be honest, it was a pretty okay con. It wasn't great. It wasn't spectacular, but at least they gave an effort and they did something that I thought was positive. It was called Anime Odyssey. And again, I thought that it was at least a positive convention. It wasn't going to be a con that weekend, but at least they tried to do something. So I want to go ahead and say this. Cons don't pay for themselves, and this is what you do not do. I talked about Mizumi Con fan bashing. You don't fan bash. You don't go out and say, just because you have you can't wear a Naruto headband, you shouldn't be an anime fan or something like that. I've said that before. But also, you don't go in to attack somebody who was at the time one of your biggest supporters. Who was there? I believe it was gotta be, I think it was 6. During the volunteer recruitment for security, it was me. Who was there saying every day, you know what, we should do this because this has been a great convention. And again, I was stepping up to the plate for them. It was me. Why would you go and destroy one of your greatest supporters, somebody who will literally wake up on call every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday just because you have an ego trip? That was a stupid decision. And why I say San Japan doesn't care, because I put literally 5 straight years of helping this convention out the best I can every single time. And they're like, no, no, you don't, you talk about Justin. Justin's our guy. We don't want you anymore. That's the point. So when you really look at what this person said, I'm not sure who it is. Could it be Dave Henneke? Maybe. I don't know. I'm not saying it is. The fact that people don't realize that some of these are run by people who you're not going to like, who are detestable in some cases, Anime Matsuri being the prime example, just goes to show that there are issues if you're trying to go to attack somebody who's quote, quote, small fry. You don't need to run a convention at all. I don't know who this person is. I don't know what process they came from, but there's actually rules saying not to talk about San Japan. And I'm going to be very blunt. I've read these rules. I know what they are. I've been through this several times. I've been briefed on this multiple occasions. I don't want to go to a convention whose ego is bigger than their ability to get people in the door. I don't know who it is. I'm not that kind of person. I'm not some big name. I only have a few followers who even watch these videos, if they do. But at the very least, I'm not like this guy and a coward for deleting what I told to people, told me directly, and think that he won't say it out loud. I said it before, I'm a very public person, but that plays to my advantage because you don't get anything fake from me. Well, guess what? This isn't fake. I will give you the emails. If you want to see the email, I will give it to you. I'm not HTMLing anything. I can pull it off of my phone even. I'm not faking this. I'm not editing this. I don't have enough time to edit it. So if you really want to play the game of, I say this because I know this is the con, you might want to be careful, because I'll tell you like this. You don't know how I know this information. You will never find out now. I will make sure that San Japan does not know who, what, when, where, why, or how I know this, but make God given sure, because you fucked it up like this, dumbasses, that your bullshit will be known. Later.